Welcome to the Go Slow to Go Fast Lifestyle Podcast. I'm so grateful you're here, and thank you for being part of this community and for choosing to spend a little time with me today when there are so many other options in the world with social media and YouTube and other podcasts. So, thank you. Just thank you for being here. I hope you all had a chance to slow down and relax since we last met on this podcast, especially those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving in the US. I hope you had some time with your loved ones. And I know for many of us, no matter where you are in the world, holidays can feel like the Super Bowl or a big event of cooking and baking. So I hope that you were able to carve out even a small moment just for you if you celebrated a holiday over the last week. And I hope that it felt restorative. At my house, I take my time and I space out. I've learned to take my time because I've certainly tried to do it all and went down in burning flames with being tired and short with my family and just not enjoying the day. So I've learned that if I pace myself and I stretch out all the parts of the meal across multiple days, trying to make the things that can be made ahead and saving the things that have to be made the day of till then, instead of trying to do everything in 6 hours and then having like no attention span and my body is screaming at me when it's time to sit down and have a meal and enjoy my family. So I've learned. And so this year, and also because I'm not working outside of the home, I'm working in the home and I'm not in schools right now. That was such a major change for me. I haven't done that in 20 some years. I've always been working in schools. So this is the first time I was able to be at home, take my time, not worry about what I was doing that week. I had the entire week just to pace myself. It was luxurious. And my boys were off. They had the entire week of school off in this part of the world, in Tennessee, in public schools. So, and they also get 2 full weeks off for Christmas. So we'll do this all over again. But I mean, I have had years where I've had to get it catered because I was like, I am not cooking anything. I have no brain capacity for this. I have no bandwidth, and my body is telling me no. So I have had meals catered, and I have made meals from, soup to nuts. But this year I did do everything, and it was lovely, and it was cozy, and we had our oldest home for the holiday, and my husband is a hunter, so he provided a wild turkey that he shot several weeks ago because the turkey season, it closes before Thanksgiving, so you have to make sure you get your turkey way before then. So we had wild turkey in the freezer. I was able to defrost it and brine it, and it was so good, and mashed potatoes and sweet potato casserole, and I'm learning how to make homemade bread. So I had my homemade rolls. So I was very excited for all of the fixins. And, the 2 things I didn't make were pies. I did not make my pumpkin and pecan pie. Those were store-bought, and that's okay. I'm all good with that. But I made several other desserts throughout the week that the boys all enjoyed. So yeah, it was a great time. And now, when it comes to the big day, I know going into the next year and the next couple of years, I can be chill and ease into the last bits of preparation. And I know it's doable because I did it this year. I've always kind of had that dream. So I can check that off the list now and try to replicate that every year, depending on what's going on, right? Because life changes and things come up and you just have to shift and you have to adjust. But this year, I am grateful. I'm grateful for the listeners like you out there, and I'm grateful for my family, and I'm grateful that I could enjoy the holiday and spend time in the kitchen doing what I love. So, while I was in the kitchen prepping for everything, my kids were watching Cheaper by the Dozen. You know that it's a remake because I know the original too, but the remake with Steve Martin and there's it just seems like there's this theme that keeps coming up in multiple movies that I've seen recently, especially around the holidays, where it's woven throughout how tough it is for working parents to balance being present while juggling careers. And, it really hit me. It hit home for me that I just feel so deeply grateful that I've had a chance to step away from my full time role in K 12 education and be more present for my own children. So it's really opened up a space, not only for my family, but also for just meaningful conversations with truly fascinating people on this podcast. And it seems to be a recurring theme that is woven throughout this podcast. So I hope that you agree and that you share this with others who need to hear the same message. These conversations that help all of us grow and heal and live with more intention. Which brings me to today's guest, Erica Ballard. Erica and I share a mission helping growth minded women feel good for real. And she's been described as a beautiful blend of high performance habits, growth mindset, and a little woo woo. And honestly, I love that. And I think she does too. Because true wellness, it's never one dimensional. It requires the mind, the body, and the soul working together. And Erica embodies that same holistic truth. She holds an MS from Tufts University School of Medicine and a BA in journalism from Indiana University. She's a certified health coach with additional training in NLP and Reiki and more. She's also spent 15 plus years across the health and wellness sector. And it's been from global HIV and AIDS work to health tech to personalized coaching. She's been featured in Forbes, Women's Health, and WTHR Indie, among other outlets. And today she joins us from Denver, Colorado, where she lives with her husband, her two beautiful daughters, and her two adorable pups. And in this episode, we dive into meditation. We start off with talking about meditation and what it is, what it isn't in her world and mine, and why it looks different for everyone. Erica and I talk about giving yourself grace, avoiding the comparison trap, and embracing your own path. And we even explore the science behind ancient wisdom and how these and other practices can support a slower, more intentional life. So I hope that you're able to settle in, take a deep breath, and let's get into it. I want to say welcome. Thank you for being here. And I've been asking guests just to share what's going on in your world and how you're going slow to go fast. So you meditate. So are there other ways that you have been going slow to go fast lately?
Yes, I will say the biggest piece for me and the reason I meditate is to tap in. Most of my life has been on autopilot. Most of my life, I've been trying to get everywhere as quickly as possible. Job title. And it was always around jobs. So like it was never around like, what do you like to do for fun? What would you like to look
Right.
like? It was all just me running really quickly in an effort to live my life. Right. And so um as of late, I have it's been different. So I have a 15-month-old, and I got let go on maternity leave, and that throws your entire it just throws you off.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no way to be like, "Oh, that's a walk in the park," right? So there was a
Mm-mm.
lot of things that happened over the past year, where I just realized that I had missed so much of my eldest's life, and she's only 4, but, like, I missed a whole year plus, like, of her life. With my youngest, when she was born, the beautiful thing about maternity leave, even though I got let go on it, was that I was really slow because I really believed I was completely taken care of. And so I had a really wonderful first couple months on it. And I just was like, this can continue. But the way that this continues is by me being very intentional about how I spend my time and then really intentional on the things that are blocking me from doing it. And I don't just mean the external world, it's mainly the internal voices, right? That are like, you got to move. And so this past year or so has been really about what makes me happy, what
Yeah.
lights me up, and slowing down to listen to the internal guide and then the internal voice when it's contracts. Because at this spot in my journey, sometimes the contraction isn't because I don't want to do something, it's because I still have outside influences or previous trauma or old conditioning, whatever you want to call it, saying don't do it. So, yes, meditation, but meditation, the reason for meditation is to enable, right, these like, I'll call them sacred pauses and then like the ability to listen throughout the day. Because
Hmm.
when you spend an hour sitting with yourself and God's for spirit, whatever you call it, like you start to understand what it sounds like so that when I don't feel that throughout my day, I'm at the place where I can finally pause and say, why? So it's not me running and getting super productive, right? Because I used to try to fill like 5 minutes. When we were before we got on here, I'd be like, oh my God, 6 minutes. Now it's
Yep.
just like 6 minutes before I start, I'll do this thing. And then now it's like, what do I
Hmm.
need right now
Right.
versus what should I be doing?
Sure.
So it's a really long-winded answer, but that's been truly how I've been looking to live. This isn't just like, here's an exercise. It's like, this is how I want to live my life. And the only way to live a life of presence is to practice it.
No, absolutely. And it for listeners out there right now, um, I mean, you're probably wondering how in the world could I fit an hour of meditation time into my day if it's not something that you do right now? And we're not saying that. I'm sure Erica and I would both be somebody quickly saying, You got to work it in little by little." And I'm sure you didn't start with an hour of meditation right away in your practice.
Oh my God, no, I did 2 minutes and I struggled. I struggled with 2 minutes. I couldn't shut my brain off. And I think this is really important. So for me, I do a lot of work within the wellness and health space, helping people get their body settled so they can be with their mind. And I think it's Dr. Scott Leon's, he calls it the shelf. I mean, it's also said that in other areas, but it's like there's a capacity in which your body can sit still. If it doesn't feel safe, the moment it doesn't feel safe, it's going to start to get you to disassociate, think about other things, move. Like there's chaos within it. Doesn't feel safe to sit still. And that's okay. Like that's where you are. And your job is to move the shelf up, to expand your capacity. And so the idea, and this is where everyone gets in trouble, is they're like, this girl sounds like she knows what she's talking about. I'm going to sit for an hour. You can't. You cannot. And so the fact that you try to run to do that already showed that you're dysregulated, right? That like you're already, and that's not a knock. I'm just calling it out because it's okay. Like so was I. I could sit for 2 minutes. I started this. I was trying to think back. I was like 2016. So I've been meditating for almost a decade and I sit for an hour and it's easy. But think about that like 9 years ago, I
Yeah,
could sit for 2 minutes. And
right.
so it's a progression
Hmm.
and you've got to want to do it, right? Like, and you have to have the space. Like, I have a different lifestyle than most people. Like, I don't have a 9 to 5. I don't like my kids also wake up at got like 8, most of the time 8 a.m., which is amazing, except that they also go to bed at 9:30 p.m. Right. So it's like
Mm, yeah.
there's all these pushes and pulls. And so it's a matter for me
Hmm.
of like what is able to fit into my lifestyle right now. And it's okay to
Yeah.
like, have to flow with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we gotta give ourselves grace, give ourselves, a break because to be on where I am right now, I have also stepped away from my day-to-day job. I'm not doing a 9 to 5 or it was really like a 6 a.m. to like a 9 p.m. situation when I worked in schools. I'm not doing that right now. So I'm taking advantage of having that time that's more flexible in the morning. But it might look different for all the listeners out there, and that's okay. But I also know I can't sit still for more than 15 minutes. That's where I am right now. And I have to move before I can sit still. So I do a
Yeah.
little bit of stretching or activity, yoga, whatever I feel like. And then I'll try to sit for 10, 15 minutes without doing anything else. But, it's a process. Like Erica said, she didn't start off with an hour right away. It was 2 minutes.
And what I just want to underscore is what you do is so brilliant, especially for people who have trouble sitting. My biggest issue was that I tried to sit before I moved. Like moving, whether it's like physical body, like yoga, or I should say full body, or like breath work, or humming or chanting or something. Like there's a reason,
Yeah. Yes.
like the yogis, the Buddhists, like there's a reason all of this stuff, we see it. It's because they do that before they sit. And it helps tremendously. In fact, I was meditating this morning. I was doing breath work and I was like, can we just be here? Like with we're doing it. And the answer was no. Like my mind kept wondering. And I just like heard, do you know the reason why meditations are set up the way they're set up? Is so that you can get all of that thought out. Like the reason I want you breathing, the reason I want like all this stuff is so that you can be there when
Yeah.
it's time to be there. And
Yeah.
I think that's the other piece we like miss is like
Hmm.
we have this idea of what it's supposed to look like because we hear people on like a short podcast, right? Say, oh, they do this. And it's like, yeah, but when you look into the science of it, there's this like whole set of work. Or even if you want to not look at the science, you want to look at like ancient practices. Like they knew things before the science was behind them. Like go ancient if you want to figure this out. Like don't listen to
Yes.
like the new biohacks. Like go there
Right.
first, and that will
Yes.
help then like inform the things you pick up as you go.
Yes. And of course, the ancients didn't have phones distracting them. Now, I'm sure they had other things going on during their day that they had to manage as well, but not all the tech distractions. So, got to give ourselves a minute. And if you can, put all that to the side and just be for a minute and then try adding it, as you go. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great reminder of what meditation can look like,
Yeah.
and that could be an aspiring goal to get there one day. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll get like, you can't screw this journey up. I mean, that's the
No.
thing. Like everyone thinks that they can, but you really can't.
Yeah. And it's different for everybody. So it could look one way for one person. I mean, for me, not every day. I'm not always able to meditate. I might just feel like I want to journal instead of meditate and just start writing. And that's fine too. So I'm not going to, take it out on myself. But I'm excited to hear more about the work that you're doing, Erica, in the world. And we just jumped right in with how you're going slow to go fast. Now I know with your background, I want you to share a little bit for the listeners. And they heard a little intro at the beginning of this recording, but I want to know a little bit more about like how you got started in this intentional work and how you're helping busy women handle their life these days.
Yeah. So thank you for that question. And it's been a journey. I spent, like I said, the first major part of my life just running place to place, looking honest. I was like, the language I would use was performing. I was performing. I was doing the things I thought I was supposed to do. I didn't think I was enough, even though I probably wouldn't have used that language. And so as a result, I was essentially in functional burnout, right? I was like showing up, but my mind was racing. I couldn't sit still. I would pick up routines, but couldn't complete them. And I just kept trying to find like a magic bullet, like a magic, like practice that would fix everything. And again, hindsight's 2020. And what I'll say is that I started to get healthy, right? I started to eat well. I started to take care of my body, and it really dissipated a lot of the thought patterns. And so my work mimicked all of this. And so when I started to move into the mindset piece, I moved into life coaching versus staying in wellness. And then as I worked on the soul piece, I moved into spiritual coaching. And what I've come back on the other side, having all of it, is we need all of it. Right. Like I was in functional burnout. My body was unable to take in the mindset work when my mindset couldn't choose positivity or what I would call like the spiritual truth, like my soul couldn't quite come through. And so now I'm back almost, I won't say I'm back at the beginning, but I'm at this place where I'm now helping women, body, mind, and soul, by first working with their body, because so many people that I know are like, I'm screwing things up. The work isn't working. I just can't seem to eat healthy. I just can't seem to sit still. And it's like, you are not screwing anything up. Your biology's just off. And because I have a master's degree, because from Tufts Medical, because I loved science and like worked in the healthcare space for a long time, I got my CHC, right? I'm studying the nervous system, like things that are actually really, really, really complicated. Like we don't have time for that. So what I'm doing is I'm
No.
breaking it down really quickly to figure out and to explain to women that until your body feels safe, you can't do the things that you want to do. And that's a
Right.
biology problem. It's not a you problem. Because once you're there, then the mindset work works, right? Like
Right.
and the mindset work works. And then we can move into our soul purpose, because most of the people that I serve, and it's a really long winded answer, but they're floating. They're saying, I don't know what I'm floating here trying to figure out my purpose. And it's not that you're floating, you're in survival mode. And all you can think about is the next step in front of you. So your job is to pull your body out of survival mode, get it into the rest or digest space, the parasympathetic nervous system. And then from there, the Mel Robbins books work, right? From there, like
Right.
all of that stuff, the Brendan Burchard books work. Like, and so I start with women to really heal their body so that we
Mhm.
can move into finding what this body, what this human of yours is to do. So,
Yeah.
and I would say that the reason I do it, just as like an underscore, is I really believe the body is a vessel, and that the people I work with, they're very spiritual. Maybe they don't use that language, but they're very spiritual and they want to hear the message. They want to hear their intuition, but you're just full of muck, you know? And so
Right.
this work
Right.
cleared out so much of that so we can start to really hone in on our purpose, because our body is a vessel. We're here having a human experience, and this is the outfit we've chose. So yeah, it was a really long-winded answer, but that's what I do.
No, I mean, that is, I mean, you've got so much to offer busy women because you've been there and you've figured out how to heal and then be so you can receive and then be, sharing your gift to the world. And so you want to do the same for other women out there. And I think that's amazing. It's amazing work. And I think, one indication that you need, Erica, is if you probably can't sit still for 2 minutes, or that might be a good place to start because that means that you need to kind of figure out how to get grounded back into your body.
And that's the thing, is like what always upsets me about the wellness space, and I can tell you why it's part of why I ran from it, is like it's set up for you to be the problem. And I think about this a lot, and I have, is like health isn't hard. I mean, truly, I know everyone wants to say, oh, but we have our phones and the foods. The people that I serve, like middle class or above, it's not that challenging. Food desert, poverty, that's a whole different conversation. Okay. I worked in public health. I know. And the people listening to your podcast, it's not that hard. What makes it feel really hard is that you're chronically stressed. That's what makes it feel hard. And that's not you don't have a discipline. Like, I don't have discipline. I lack motivation. No, you are living in survival mode and your body's
Yeah,
doing exactly what it's supposed to be when it's surviving. And when you recognize that, my hope is you recognize that you're not the problem. Like, your
right.
body is on autopilot and you're just like, and it's a runaway train, because 80% of the information that goes to your brain, or like that goes like serves through your nervous system, 80% is body to brain. 20% is brain down to body. So like, you're not screwing anything up. Your body's acting exactly what it's supposed to act like. And now that you know that, you've got to work with the body. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you talk about we've got to be intentional. And so I would think being intentional around our meals, around our what we fill our day with, not just at work, outside of work, just all the routines.
Yeah, it's like, it's definitely eating food, right? Like this, I mean, it sounds so silly, but it's like when you're starving yourself, your body goes to fight or flight. Like, I mean, that's a very obvious thought, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's very
Yeah.
logical. So it's definitely nutrition. But also movement, also the rest. Like, it's more than just routines. Um, but I think a lot about how we have stress trapped in our body and we keep trying to do HIIT workouts and a bunch of cardio. And it's like, girl, you need to walk. Like,
Yeah.
you need to do deep breaths. You need to like not do vinyasa yoga. You need to go into yin yoga, right? Like it's all the things are also counterintuitive because what you're doing is you're taking your body and saying we're safe, which means you slow down. And that doesn't mean you have to sit for an hour because we just talked about how you can't. But it's like, what can you do to slow it down? What can you do to relieve stress? What can you do to signal that it's okay to be here? And then the other piece that no one talks about is like, have some freaking fun. Like, also, side note,
Yes.
go have fun. The easiest way to be present is to have fun.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Because if I was reflecting a couple of podcasts ago about how I was sitting at a swim meet with my kids. So like my husband would go inside and help and like time and do all the
I was a
stuff
swimmer.
inside by the pool. And then I'm outside as like the anchor of like the snacks and the drinks and all the things. And so I'm hanging out outside. Well, I don't know anybody because I'm like, I work and more than an hour away from here. These people have, I haven't been around them except for in the summer for like 6 weeks. And I haven't taken the time to get to know anybody. So like they're all around, but feeling alone in a crowd of people because of work. Work is where I spend a lot of my time. I'm not investing my time in my community. And so just those little things of like stopping for a second and just realizing how can you connect back into your body? How can you connect back into your community? How can you connect with just simple things to switch to feel better and have fun? Yeah, I was like, I could be having fun right now, but instead, I'm sitting here worried and I'm anxious about how I don't know anybody in this space. So it's just interesting what we kind of go through. It's like that monkey mind.
Yeah. I mean, your mind will feed you stories, right? Byron Katie always says that, like, your job is just not to believe your thoughts. Like, but you can't
Right.
not believe your thoughts when you don't trust yourself and your body doesn't trust you. And so there's a lot of conversation about whether the blue zones is true or false. But regardless of where you land on that, community really does matter. And it's like where we spend our time and how we show up. And when we can just take a deep breath, we realize like everyone's going through it. Most people feel lonely. Reaching out is a good thing. And we don't have to believe our thoughts. But again,
Right.
like when you are so out of tune with what's happening in here, like brain and body, like you can't. I mean, you just can't.
Right.
And it's not, I shouldn't say you can't. You definitely can't. It's just harder. A finite amount of willpower. And when you spend your day working and then you go to a swim meet as someone who's a swimmer, those are 3-day long events. You're in it. Like I'm like, I really want my kid to like the cello. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
Mm.
let's not swim or play travel
Yeah.
soccer, please. Unless you really want to, blah, blah. But like you spent all day with willpower and then you get to the end and then you wonder why you can't make these decisions. And it's like, well, you just
Right.
exhausted it, not yelling at someone for like asking a question for the 15th time. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what just gets so hard is like when we start to understand this, the reason I share all this stuff and talk about it so openly is when we understand it, like you realize you're not a bad person. Like these
Right.
things aren't like inherent in you. It's like how the physiology of our body works. So you can give yourself a little bit of grace because the moment you can give yourself grace, right, then that opens up the space to do what you did, which is like,
Yeah.
I'm spinning my thoughts.
Yep.
That's a human thing. Like it's
Yep.
these little pockets that allow us to give ourselves the things we need.
Right. And it sounds like you have this signature experience that you provide clients that you work with called the Executive Rewiring. Tell us about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for asking. So yeah, so it's the way I set it up is it's like it's a 3-part. It's very similar to my journey, right? I nailed the body, like got that really down, still spun, figured out the mindset thing, still felt a little floaty, that went into the spiritual soul piece, like what's my purpose? And so that's what this mimics, because not only did I understand that like reflection, that's what I did, right? When you look in the science of it and how the body works and the process and you know, ancient teachings and all that, that's a very normal progression, but
Hmm.
we've kind of lost that in today's society because it looks different, right? Like the ancients weren't, they used to go and like, they aren't scrolling on their phone. They don't have
No.
all these things like in front of them. They could go to nature and live in a cave for a month and like the
Mhm.
community would take care of their kid, right? Like we don't have that. And so the way that I've set this up is like one, really working with your body, starting to really release the stress. I always say the goal in executive rewiring is to release the stress, not manage it. Because a lot of people turn to mindfulness, a lot of people turn to meditation, a lot of people turn to mindset work to manage their stress, to get through another day. We do not
Right?
want to get through another day. Like
No.
we want to
We don't
enjoy.
wanna just survive.
Right. We want to enjoy
Right.
our lives. And so
Yeah.
part one is really working with the body. So get it out of starvation mode, help put the right nutrients in it so that the chemical reactions in the body can actually start to take place
Mm.
and do somatic workouts, which are exercises that get you back into your body so that you can feel things again, because most of us can't you have trouble feeling things,
Numb.
right? Yeah, we're
Uh-huh.
numb. We
Mhm.
disassociate, right? Like getting
Mhm.
back into it, feeling our bodies, allow like which essentially teaches our body it's safe to feel. And then when
Yeah.
we get to this place where we have a foundation in order, we start to move to the mindset work. So how does the brain rewire thoughts? How do we choose differently? How do we like we jump to visualization? It's like, wait, what do you really want versus what you think you want to get to the end goal? And so working with the science of your brain, starting to really understand what you want, what thoughts you want to have. And then from there, right, dive a little bit more into the soul work. Okay, well, what's the purpose? Like,
Mhm.
what are we doing this for? What do I really want? And then the integration, right? So we do these three steps and then we integrate it because you have to turn it into habit. It has to be something that you choose over and over and over again. And so that's what I think sets me apart is that I'm looking at the body, as I mentioned, as a vessel, as like part of the equation. I'm not separating, which is what I think has gotten us into a lot of the issues we've been running into is we're like, okay, I can like nail my mindset and purpose without taking care of the vessel that gets me there. And it's like, let's just
Mhm.
pull it together because it's really, like I said, it's not that difficult. It's just that
Mhm.
stuff feels difficult because you're stressed out. And so that's what it looks like. I have found it to be very helpful. And my favorite thing is that most of my clients are like, I can look back and tell you that I've changed a billion things about myself, but I can tell you I didn't feel like I was doing that much in the process. I'm like, that's the win. Like, because and I think this is really important for people to hear, is like when we try to do more and we put it up in our brains, that's actually setting us up for failure. Like we have to almost like sneak it in through the ego, sneak it in through the body. It's like hiding your kids' vegetables in the pasta, right? Like
Right? Right?
that's what you got to do, like in order to build all those things out. So yeah, so that's what I work on. I'm really hyped about it, honestly, because it's what I've always wanted to do. But honestly, I was too scared until I went through the process myself to do it.
Mm. Yeah. I think, I love this integrative approach that you're offering the world. I think, we've been compartmentalizing so many different strategies and approaches that it's no wonder if it doesn't work for you that it's not because we've got to have that combination happening all at once for it to happen. At least in my perspective, I think that mind, body, soul makes sense to me.
I mean, I agree. Like it's we go we always want to separate them. And I get like when you look back to like Charles Darwin and religion, like it was perfectly separated, right? But like there were actually more years than not where they weren't separated.
Right.
Um
Yeah.
Einstein kind of believed in quantum physics. You know what I mean? Like so it was never really that separated until it was. And
Mhm.
now I think that there's this big movement coming back, but it's, what I'm going to say is I don't think we want it. Like we wish it was different. Like we wish we didn't have to take care of our body to figure out a purpose. Like
Yeah.
we
Right.
wish we didn't have to work on our mindset to take care of our body. Why can't we just like freaking eat healthy and that be enough? And it's like, it's all tied together.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah. You
all
can't just
tied
do one
together.
thing.
Yeah. It's a holistic approach.
Yeah.
It's like when your kid screams, it's not just because they're mad at the TV. Like their emotion, like they can't physically handle it. And so like everything's bubbling up. It's like compound,
Yeah.
like it's a lot. There's a lot more than just, oh, the TV, you know?
Well, sure. And our our structure is a lot more. We're more than just one thing. So it's got to be more complicated than just one type of approach. It makes sense.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think when you do it uniquely to you too, like they're fundamentals, but the nice thing I think about coaching or working with someone more one-on-one is like it's also really unique to you. Like the reason you don't feel worthy, it's probably different than the reason I don't. Like my mom's Filipino, like it's like there's different intergenerational traumas that come in, and I
Yeah.
think that that's the benefit. But my biggest hope always is for people to understand that like even if you get that we're a spirit having a human experience, right? Like you still are having a human experience and you got to work with the body. Like you just have to
Yeah.
in this space.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And I hope listeners are listening out there. If it's something that resonates with you, then it might be time for you to check in and see if a coach is something that you need or somebody that you need to add into your practice. And Erica, how can people find you? I know that you have a website. If you don't mind sharing it, I'll make sure it's all in the show notes too.
Yeah. So I have a website, ericaballard.co, not com. I've actually recently just like speaking of slowing down to go fast, right? I've just switched my entire content strategy, I would say. So I'm on LinkedIn and then I'm going to be on YouTube, really explaining more of this like in-depth information.
Mm,
So those are the two channels where I feel one, like the best exposure, but also like the modality that allows me to really get into what I want to get into. So I normally have been like, I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok, and I'm like slowing down, like, where can I be most beneficial? Where is it most beneficial for me? And I will tell you right now, I'm struggling with that because I'm also just in business to doing so much that I'm like, okay, we're gonna not do that much. We're
yeah.
gonna not. So yes, LinkedIn and YouTube is where you can really find me and be active. If
Okay.
you're in Denver, check out Denver Holistic Living on TikTok, which is like a group of practitioners who support holistic living in Denver. I'm doing that with my friend Devin. And then if it's helpful, I can pass on like a free download that I've created. It's like 5 ways to like manage, like to get stress out of your body, like
Yes.
5 scientifically backed ways that you can literally do today to start to move that out. So I can share that as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Cool.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Is there anything else that you want to leave the listeners? Any final message before we let you go?
I mean, I think the only thing would be to really heed your message. Like slowing down to speed up is like, it isn't a cute name to a podcast. Like she's on to something, folks. Kendra knows what's up. Like it is, there is nothing better for you than doing that because you will, it's not just you are faster. Like if we believe in God's first spirit, like your intention is clear, then you have the universe on your side, right? Like I just want to underscore your message because I
Mm,
really feel it's so important that people understand that like slowing down to speed up is the way. Like it's the only way until you really do feel healed. Like moving any faster will just hurt. Like I don't want to say it'll hurt you, but you'll repeat lessons that I know you don't want to repeat.
right, right. Because yeah, and maybe in your experience too, but in mine, the universe has definitely been a whisper and then it's been a yell until I finally listened. And so if you want to keep going fast, you're going to eventually slow down. So why not go slow to go fast?
I always say it's like you can get the whisper, you can get the Mack truck. Like, because the yell, I go, what is it? Whisper, the brick, which is your yell, or the Mack truck, which is like you will be slowed down. Not you can choose to slow down. Like you
Hmm.
will be slowed down.
It will
So
happen.
do you want to do it? Or
Right.
do
Want
you
it to
want
happen
yeah, do you want to have it for you?
because it will. Erica, thank you so much for being here. I know this was a quick conversation. Time flies when you're having a good conversation. So thank you.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope that this conversation gave you something meaningful to carry into the rest of your week. And if it did, I'd love for you to share this episode with a friend, a colleague, or anyone who could use a little more calm, clarity, and intention in their life. Your shares, they generally help this podcast grow, and I'm so grateful for your support. Remember, the light in me honors the light in you. And as you head into the rest of your week, let your light shine through. And don't forget to go slow to go fast. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.